Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I got some good news. So the Christmas present I'm giving everyone, which is a free website. We had our first person come forward and claim that gift. Somebody on my Discord server messaged me this morning and said he was going to take me up on the offer. So, in other words, I am giving everybody and anybody a free website. If you are interested in having a free website, then I shall do my very best to make that into a reality. There's no ifs, there's no buts. This is not some kind of way of me to sell you anything. All you have to do is become a member of my Discord channel, which basically means that you will have access to all the knowledge that me and everybody else on that server share with each other. So, and you can always leave the server if you think the information is not to your liking, but it will allow me to communicate effectively with you should you go ahead with the website. So you're not just really getting a website, you will get training on how to manage the website, again free of charge. That's just some time, that's some labor, and I'll even teach you how to market a website. So creating a website is just step one. How to effectively market a website using digital marketing strategy is also some free training I shall give you. Whether or not it's me personally or a member of my team, I don't know. It doesn't matter. You'll get the best service I can get to you. So we've had the first person. They've come forward and they said they want a new website. And they said, Manny, if you're giving it away for free, we shall have it. But anyway, before I play Nigel Farage's rambling video, talking absolute baloney, I have something to share for the likes of Banksy, Raj, and DC, Daily Covid, because they're so obsessed with Candace Owens. So this video is for them.
Candace Owens is a evil scumbag. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit.
As we all know, Candace Owens is in a lot of suggestion. We can't keep spinning conspiracy theories without evidence. People are going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt.
Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? If you got something to say, tell it to her face. If you got something to say, tell it to her face. All of this is fake and gay, and you know it. I got all the evidence. I'm about to show it. You projecting all your guilt out on us and Candace. We just trying to solve the case. I don't understand it. Things not turning out how you planned it. We can see it in your eyes and your body language. I see all the threats that you keep sending me, but underneath the jail is where you finna be. Your band of crooked pastors in the pulpit. Every time you speak, all I hear is bullshit. Tell the truth about Charlie Kirk instead of telling me to stop. All I wanna know is which guy took the shot. I need an answer to a question only you would know. Was Charlie Kirk's life a reenactment of the Truman Show? Truman Show. 100,000 of us on your head tie. Please stop trying to feed us all this fed slide. Your grieving widow book tour, we ain't listening to it. And free Tyler Robinson, cause you know he didn't do it. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace.
She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened? Well, Erica said stop, and then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like.
Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? If you got something to say, tell it to her face. If you got something to say, tell it to her face. All this is fake and gay, and you know it. I got all the evidence, I'm about to show it. You projecting all your guilt out on us and Candace. We just trying to solve the case, I don't understand it. Are things not turning out how you planned it? We can see it in your eyes and your body language. I see all the threats that you keep sending me, but underneath the jail is where you finna be. Your band of crooked pastors in the pulpit. Every time you speak, all I hear is bullshit. Tell the truth about Charlie Kirk instead of telling me to stop. All I wanna know is which guy took the shot. I need an answer to a question only you would know. Was Charlie Kirk's life a reenactment of the Truman Show? Truman Show, Truman Show. 100,000 of us on your head top. Please stop trying to feed us all this fed slop. Your grieving widow book tour, we ain't listening to it. And free Tyler Robinson, cause you know he didn't do it. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What?
It feels a little fake and gay. Gotta tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay, and there will be no fakeness and no gayness. It was like one big character assassination, and it wasn't to me. That's what you guys don't understand. You're not attacking me. You are attacking millions of people around the world.
So somebody said, how can one woman make so many people angry? Martin Luther King made so many people angry. Charlie Kirk made so many people angry. See, when there's one person that makes so many people angry, it's because that one person makes so many other people happy and enlightened and spirited. That's why the other people are so angry, because they need to control us. And what happens is they start coming up with ways to set up the person that is making them angry or influencing us to be angry at them.
100,000 of us on your head top. Please stop trying to feed us all this fed slop. You're grieving.
Okay, so I'm not sure about what he said right at the end. That's not something I'm in agreement with. But that video was dedicated to the fake and gay King, Raj and Banksy, and their newest member of their team, DC, aka Daily COVID. These three men are absolutely obsessed on hating on Candace. At least DC, aka Daily COVID, tries to share information and back it up, whereas Banksy and Raj, it's all fluff. But anyway, that was a bit of tongue-in-cheek humor. I'm not trying to stick it to them by playing that video. I found that video very entertaining, and I thought it should be dedicated to the fake and gay kings. Yes, I'm aware of that, Miss Piggy. Always a good Christian lady. Always trying to iron the creases. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I know that. Okay, so before we play the Nigel Farage video, I think it's important to just have a recap of the last live stream I did, where Ben Habib. Well, so I think somebody that questioned Ben Habib has been watching my live streams, because I've been saying no politicians, no political parties ever give a guarantee that they will follow through on their pre-election promises. Okay, some gentleman, whether he watched my live stream or not, asked the only decent question in British politics this year. He stood up, I'm going to play the video in a second. He stood up and asked Ben Habib. He said, what guarantees do we have that you and the other candidates will deliver on your pre-election promises? Ben Habib first said, I don't understand the question, and then just avoided answer it. I'm telling you, people, he has fooled a lot of people, and unless he or any other candidate that wants your votes can answer the question what guarantee they shall give, do not vote for them. We've been down this road too many times. If Ben does actually answer that question and does it correctly, fine, vote for him. However, I don't think he will. Let's play this video and you'll know what I mean, and then we'll go over to Nigel Farage, and then you'll also See what I mean? Right. Why is my screen not sharing? Stop sharing. That's why. All right. Let's go over to this video here. Now you're going to have to listen carefully to the question and Ben's answer.
I guarantee your MPs will vote through your manifesto.
Well, the MPs will be part of the body of people.
I'm just going to rewind that.
Okay. Right, okay. So can we be brief and
Essay
quick?
answers.
How will you guarantee your MPs will vote through your manifesto?
Well, the MPs will be part of the body of people that come together to form the manifesto. It's impossible that our MPs won't vote for the manifesto.
Sorry, Ben. John, by the way.
Yeah.
Ben, how can you guarantee us that the elected MPs at the next election, because Advance will win the next election, I firmly believe that. I want to hear what the guarantee is that the MPs will actually vote through the manifesto.
Brilliant question. Brilliant question. So this chap, I think he said his name is Paul, is asking Ben Habib, what guarantee is there that the politicians of Advance UK, those standing for election, what guarantee is there that they will force through the manifesto? Okay. In other words, what guarantees can you give Ben Habib that you and your fellow candidates will not lie to us with pre-election promises and then go back on those election promises when in power? What guarantees can you give that you're not a crook? This is what Ben Habib answers with.
I've never, I don't really understand the question, John, if you don't mind me saying so, because the MPs would have stood for that manifesto in the election.
As I understand it, once an MP is elected, because we're in a democracy, he can choose after he's elected whether he actually votes through the manifesto that he stood on.
Yeah.
So the guy is very intelligently and politely saying nearly every single politician, once they're in power, goes back on their promises. Right? Now, he's wiped his mouth, he's wiped his brow. Let's see what he comes back with. After, when he was asked the same question the first time, he says, I don't understand the question. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I
mean, they could all do a volte face. It would be a most.
We're not asking all of them, Ben. We're asking you and your fellow Advance UK candidates. Now, be a fish and swim your way out of this one.
Peculiar thing to happen for MPs to have stood on a platform, campaigned for the manifesto, bought into the manifesto, promoted the manifesto, and then get into Parliament and say we're not delivering the manifesto. And as
right, so Ben Habib, right there, you all heard it, whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching this afterwards. Ben Habib has denied that it would be a peculiar thing for any member of Parliament to go back on either a manifesto or pre-election promises, right? Because a manifesto is a pre-election promise. So he thinks it's peculiar and therefore it doesn't even happen, he's saying. That's what he's saying indirectly, from my understanding. He thinks, like himself, and that he is the same as all the other so-called honourable members of the House and vote for me and I should deliver. I mean, and this is my point of highlighting this. Ben Habib, Nigel Farage and every other politician will not give you a guarantee that they will deliver on their pre-election promises because they have, without a question, no plan to do so. If I was standing for election and somebody was to ask me that same question, Manny, what guarantees can you give for delivering your manifesto or your pre-election promises? I would, without a shadow of a doubt, saying that I will waive my parliamentary privilege and I will waive any assumed sovereignty that I have as a member of Parliament, which I don't anyway because I'm a servant of the public, and I will open myself up to be prosecuted for not delivering the very thing that I promised I would in the pre-election. That is what an honest and genuine candidate would say. But Ben Habib is not one of them, is he?
And as I say, they won't really have much time to change their minds, because on day one, we're going to pass on day one. I'll tell you on day one roughly what we're going to do. I'm jumping.
But we haven't asked you what day one what you're going to do. They always tell us at day one what they're going to do. Trump said on day one he was going to release the Epstein files. Every single politician says on day one this is what we're going to do. No one's asking you what you're going to do from day one. What we're asking, or what the gentleman was asking, what guarantees can you and your fellow candidates give? And you have skipped the answer, and therefore you are untrustworthy, just like Nigel Farage or Nigel Farage and every other British candidate for any political party.
Jumping ahead of the college, but I know the college is like-minded. On day one, we're going to repeal the Human Rights Act and get rid of the ECHR.
Okay, so all the minions started clapping there, as you see. So I'll stop that. That wasn't me speaking live. That was the other live stream. So I wanted to make a point of that, and I wanted to remind people that somebody, I think, who watches my live streams went to this Ben Habib Advance UK gathering, and he asked the very question that I would have asked, and he persisted in asking the same question twice because he could see evidently that Ben Habib was trying to swim around or get out of answering, and he did get out of it. And how did he get out of it? First, he said, "I don't understand the question. Do you not understand English, Ben Habib?" It was asked to you in very clear English. And then the second time, he said he doesn't think any member of any party would not deliver on the manifesto because they would have already promoted it. So in other words, every single member of parliament in the UK, such as Keir Starmer, such as Tony Blair, such as Boris Johnson and all the other numpties that we've mistakenly voted in, according to him, always deliver and have delivered and will continue to deliver on all the promises that they make when they need our vote, despite the fact, statistically speaking, they do not. These people do not work for us. Just think about it. If you were a member of parliament and you were working for every single individual in your country, would you not propose a piece of legislation saying that any commodity such as North Sea oil or any commodity such as salt that can be sold in the free market, should the profits not go back to the people? If a commodity or a sellable good is from the land that we know, the UK, England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and the profits of that land and the commodities within it, of course it should go back to the people. Right? But these people, they're not working for us. The whole democratic system, the way it is built, is to fool us into thinking that we have any type of control or requirement, because even if a politician states all the right things that you want to hear and you go, yeah, he's good, he's the one, which is what happens every single time. Even if a politician manages to brainwash you and thinking that he or she will deliver exactly what you want and this is it, your life and your community's life and your family's life will be changed forever. Once he or she gets voted in, what's holding them accountable on delivering on that? What is that? Look at it as a business contract. Just imagine walking into a meeting with some big player and they saying, Mr. So-and-so, we are looking for a business-to-business contract for you to deliver 79 million pallets of snooker tables. And you say, well, of course, I can deliver 80 million and I'll deliver it to you within 6 months. And the man said, oh, fantastic. Where do I sign? How much is it? And you don't deliver anything. Do you know what will happen? You will be prosecuted. where a member of parliament or a candidate looking to be elected tries to and does defraud you, do you know what the kickback is? Nothing. Because the entire system is there to protect them. You're not even actually voting for a candidate. This is the other thing with democracy that people don't understand. You're not voting for an actual candidate. You're actually voting for a party. How many times have we seen a prime minister being kicked out and then the next numpty in charge is promoted without a single vote from the people? That's because it doesn't matter who the individual was who was the prime minister. What mattered was who is the party. And people need to understand that. Even if one decent man manages to get into the seat of prime minister, as soon as they take him out, they'll only put somebody else in that works for them. That's very important. This is why nothing's going to change. That was the perfect chance for Ben Habib when asked, what guarantee, Ben Habib, do you and your fellow candidates give us that you will deliver on your pre-election promise? I don't know what the right answer is. All I can tell you that if I was standing in front of you and I was wanting your vote, I would have said, that's a great question. And I guarantee you, and I am willing to sign a deed right now, that if I do not deliver on the pre-election promises that I make and my party make and what's in the manifesto, I shall voluntarily open myself up for prosecution. I shall right now sign that deed and say all parliamentary privilege of protecting me for lying and not delivering my pre-election promises are removed henceforth. That is what I would say, because I would not need to do any work once I'm elected. The work is actually done before I get elected because I've made the promises. And if I am truly in power when elected, then all I have to do is tell the civil servants, tell the government departments and everybody else, make this happen. Listen, peeps, I know it's a hard reality, but democracy is a fraud. Democracy is a system created to protect a small group of people that control every single candidate, every single party. They don't care who's elected. You think they give a hoot if Labour or Tories or Reform or any other bogus party gets in? They don't care. They stay in power. That's what democracy is. It's for the ruling class to continuously stay in power. And we, the average folk, think there's a change and something different is going to happen. I know I'm going in on Ben Habib again. Ben Habib is actually, he's just an example of what every single politician does, right? But there's a better example. Than Ben Habib of how to waffle and how to continuously take people on forward. Let me just read this comment very quickly. JKL says, we don't live in a democracy, it's an illusion and has been for a long time, sadly. Absolutely right. Could not have said that better. Democracy is an illusion. And for a long time, I fought myself from admitting that. It was very difficult for me to admit reality because sometimes the reality, when you confess that the realistic situation or reality is this, on the other side of admitting that or coming to terms with it, it also means that you have been low IQ and you have been fooled and you have been misled, and as a consequence of your energy, you have done the bidding of that misleading yourself by promoting a certain scenario. And I am guilty of that. I am guilty of believing that democracy was a system or is a system where when we the people vote vote somebody in, we are guaranteeing that a change will happen because they promise that. That is not what democracy is. I'm sorry to tell you. If you don't believe me, I'm sorry. It hurts me too. It actually hurts me too because, you know, like you guys, I love the UK. I love Britain. I love the idea of democracy. I think there's a way of saving democracy, but we're going to have to make it actually a true democracy rather than this fake thing. Right, so on to Nigel Farage. Now, as we're going to be entering into 2026, I want you guys to keep bear in mind what we're going to analyze today. So what do politicians do? Politicians, they don't actually discuss solutions. That's not how they brainwash us. That's not how they keep us on a line to reel us in. What they do is they criticize what the current situation is. So if somebody wanted to come into power right now and be voted in, one of the easiest topics that they could use to promote themselves is immigration. So if I, for example, wanted to stand for election and I wanted to get masses of voters behind me, I would make a speech in a large hall and I would talk about, for example, illegal immigration for 15-20 minutes. When I say talk about it, I'm just pointing out things like how illegal immigrants are contributing to the rising crime, how people are unhappy, how the communities are unhappy. All these things go over and over and over and over. And when it comes, so when I wasted 90 to 95% of my time repeating what people already know, rebel rousing them, going, yes, 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 I agree, yes. Because that's the whole point of it. You're discussing and you're pointing out what people already know in order to get this rebel rousing, this whole tribal energy out of them and create this whole atmosphere like, oh, he knows about the problem, so therefore he's now going to give us the solution. So when 95% of the time is wasted, the solution is not a guarantee, never is. It's not a solution that will actually work or is tested. It's always vote for this party or vote for us because we see this and we will help you. And people buy into this every single time. There's no solution offered, right? They buy into it thinking there's a solution and the solution never comes. And so gets voted in and nothing gets resolved. It's the same thing over and over and over again. We're now going to watch Nigel Farage do exactly this. I may skip it here or there because it's just waffle, but let's just take a few minutes. Let's just listen to him and see what actual solution he gives. I'll guarantee you, I haven't watched this video fully. I watched about 2 minutes of it. I guarantee you he will just discuss the problem, never the solution. And if he does discuss the solution, it'd be vote for reform. But remember, it's not just Nigel Farage that's doing this. They all do it.
Government borrowing. That is all that has kept GDP figures up. And indeed, I think we can argue very strongly that on an individual basis, mass migration has made the average Briton poorer. You take a year like 2024, a record level of people coming into the country, and GDP per capita falling. And of course, the productivity problem, well, there's nothing new there. We've been suffering from poor productivity going back for the best part of 20 years. We convinced ourselves that by importing masses of cheap, unskilled foreign labor, that somehow that would be good for our economy. Well, it was good for the wage bills of big companies in the short term, but catastrophic when it came to training and education for our own workforce. And when it comes to the public sector, who still seem to be hooked on the idea that working from home somehow is good for productivity. Well, we see the disastrous results, and this is something that Danny Kruger, on our behalf, has started work on already. But the one subject we really don't discuss, at least the Conservative and Labour parties don't discuss, is the level of national debt. In fact, even last week, the leader of the Conservative Party was saying, in office, we cut the deficit for 14 years. Well, cutting the deficit is a very different thing to cutting debt when you're still running borrowing certainly at peacetime levels, unlike anything ever seen before. They may try to wash their hands and run away from it, but our national debt increased by over 2.5 times during those 14 years. And now it's accelerating. Now it's accelerating in the most...
So as you can see, he's just discussing the problem and he'll go on. I'll guarantee you he'll go on and he'll go on. And when you think he's discussed the problem enough, he'll go on discussing the problem.
Month. Our debt has risen faster than any other comparable Western country. In fact, in the last 20 years, our debt-GDP ratio is up by nearly 60%. We are doing worse on debt than any of our competitors, and that includes Eurozone countries who are in other deep, deep trouble. Our debt repayments are over 100 billion a year. They're over the level of our defense budget, and the markets are getting nervy. We've seen this with 10 and 30-year gilt yields. In fact, I think my own view is that in 2 budgets' time, the markets will actually force the Chancellor into what will be a genuine austerity budget, at which point the left in the Labour Party won't buy it, and it's why I still stand by my prediction that there will be a general election caused by economic collapse that will happen in 2027. And just look at the pace, the rapid pace that we continue to deindustrialize. It's all going.
So he said there's going to be a financial collapse by 2027. That's a very weird thing to say. Should he be held accountable if people panic and start buying certain things? Will he be held accountable?
For ideological reasons, we have chosen to have the most expensive industrial energy prices in the world. As for benefits, well, the bill this year has ballooned to over 300 billion. That is more than the cost of the National Health Service and defence added up together. So things aren't happening, and work isn't even paying. Our million lowest paid workers would all be better off if they claimed to have mild anxiety. That is the level of mess we're in. One of my own great frustrations is that Brexit has been squandered. The opportunity to sensibly deregulate, the opportunity to become competitive globally, all of that has been squandered. And the worst thing is that regulations and the way regulators behave with British business is now worse.
Okay, so we've watched about 7 minutes, 5 minutes, I don't know how many minutes, right? And like I said, he's going to discuss the problem. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to forward it here or there and then see if we can find any bit of this dreary speech where he actually discusses the solution. Okay, let's jump forward for a bit now. I'll go back middle of the video right to here.
Of financial stupidity. These people pay their UK taxes. These people employ a lot of people. These people invest in British businesses and British industries.
So as you can see, he's still discussing the problem. So let's forward a little bit, see if he's discussing any solutions and any guarantees.
Over the course of that have been found in this country, that will produce tens of thousands of well-paid jobs. And we've given notice already to the renewables industry that the current insane AR7 round of wind auctions, where it would appear that Ed Miliband is happy to lock in for the next 20 years prices that are 30, maybe 40 or 50% higher than the current already exorbitant price. We've given notice to those companies that if we're in government, we will scrap those contracts.
Okay.
Longer term, we believe as a party...
Okay, well, that's a solution. Okay, let's continue.
The current non-businessmen and women in government and our administrations administer it. Just have a look at Sizewell, have a look at Hinkley Point, have a look at ballooning cost, have a look at time delay, and look to South Korea. South Korea do nuclear energy with no concessions to safety at 25% of the cost that the British do. Yes, there'll be obstacles with planning and much
Okay, I'm going to jump forward here.
Absolutely, in many, many ways, about what business really is. It's as if, well, you're either for business in politics or you're for the worker in politics. It is a fundamental misunderstanding, frankly, at every level. Thriving businesses are good for their employees. And something that I don't think anybody on the front benches would even understand is that small businesses very often treat their employees as well as they would treat their own family. You know, I went through times of having to pay monthly payroll when my staff were earning a lot more than I was. But I wouldn't for a minute.
Okay, that again, discussing the problem. Let's move forward a little bit.
Party. And you don't think this matters? Well, just think about this. There has been a 50% increase in disability claims in Britain over the course of the last 5 years. We are over-diagnosing many of these things, and in doing so, throwing young British people onto a scrap heap marked victim and replacing what they could be doing by cheap imported foreign labour. It is madness, and I would further point to the Boris wave. Indefinite leave to remain that begins.
So again, he's just going over the problem, over the problem. We want to hear solutions, and most importantly, we want to hear guarantees, Nigel. Give us some guarantees, or at least some more solutions.
Tax cuts until the markets can see we've at least got these things in hand. Next is Joel Hills from ITV News.
Okay, so he's taking questions now. Okay, so look, I did slightly butcher that. I skipped a little bit more than perhaps I wanted to, but my point stands. We found one solution he was giving, that he was going to scrap the contracts given to the renewables. I haven't read the manifesto, but a promise to do anything by these politicians is not a guarantee of anything. And we've got a lot of oil in the North Sea oil, and that should be coming to the people free of charge, or at least for cost price. Before Margaret Thatcher privatised the electricity board and the gas board, everything was very cheap in that respect. Those state assets should be returned to the state, so the state can operate them and give the output, which is electricity and gas, for cost price to the people. Think about it. Our parents paid tax, and our grandparents paid tax to build the electricity board and the gas board and the water infrastructure, right? So that the tax money was used to build that. Along came the corrupt politicians, sold those assets to private individuals, undercut a very cheap price, so they could go ahead and charge whatever they want. The government then gets to control the owners of those assets, including tax the profits of those boards. But the country never had a reduction in tax. In fact, there was more tax applied. There was council tax, increase in tax on this and the other. So the entire system is there just targeting the people. So when people say things like the Lord Mayor, who's in charge of the London Underground, has increased prices. I'm just using that idiot as an example. So when they increase the tube fares or the London transport fares, people think, oh, there's a certain amount of cost and therefore it has to be met, and then they had no choice but to increase the prices. That's not the reality of it. The calculation is a 4-prong calculation, and one of the prongs of the calculation is how much surplus cash do people have in their pocket and how much can we take of that. Somebody that works at London Transport told me that this was part of their calculation. Now, whether that's true or not, I'm not sure, but it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that when they're raising these prices, they're considering how much surplus cash people have and therefore how much they can tax people. All right, so I hope that made sense. Next time you're listening to any politician, I want you to remember this conversation, that for 95% of the time, they are just going to be discussing the problem that you already know, the problem that the entire group of people that they are facing and talking to already know. And the reason they do that is like a rebel rousing type of strategy where they create this momentum, get people agreeing with them, so it sounds and seems like they're saying all the right things, when in reality they're just saying the very thing these people already know or you already know. And it's creating this vacuum in your mind thinking, well, if this person knows the problem, then he must know the solution, and therefore I must vote for this person because he's going to deliver the solution. When in reality, they're just saying it just to get your vote, it's like almost like a neuro-linguistic programming strategy. But that doesn't really matter anyway. Like Ben Habib has proven, and I played the video early on in this live stream. If the politicians don't give you a guarantee that they will deliver on their pre-election promises, then what the fuck are we voting for? Seriously, we need to wake up and we need to take this very seriously. If they will not guarantee that they will deliver on the promises that they make and therefore bring us forward for voting for them, then what exactly are we voting for? Are we voting for the best speech? Are we voting for the person that discusses the one or two agenda items that matters to us the most? Because if you think about it, if that is the strategy, if you're bothered about high tax by labour and immigration, then you're going to vote for reform. If you're more bothered about how Nigel Farage has betrayed the country and he has gone back on his immigration policies from before, you're going to vote for Ben Habib. Now, if you work for the council and you want more benefits, and Labour are saying, don't worry, we'll give you more benefits, you're going to vote for Labour. So you're just voting for whoever gives the speech that you think is mostly accustomed to your shitty life. Because we all have shitty lives, if you think about it, when we take into consideration of what, including me in respect that what they promise us and what they deliver to us, they think nothing of us. no matter if you're a millionaire or if you're on benefits, they're players each time. Right? We're upset, and we're upset with politicians because of one primary reason. We want, or we believe we should be living a better life, and we voted for somebody that we thought would deliver that. And they haven't. They haven't delivered it, and they have no intention of delivering it. The other thing I think is a very important element to share is this story here that we're seeing more and more. So this story here about Roman Abramovich, a Russian oligarch, billionaire owner, former owner of Chelsea Football Club, who was forced to sell Chelsea Football Club when the European-backed forced Ukrainian war with Russia, which obviously Russia started, but obviously they say they had reasons. Whatever, war's war. It's all daft and it's all evil. So it's irrelevant who started it. But anyway, what happened? He was forced to sell his biggest asset, which was Chelsea Football Club. His yachts were impounded, and money was held by the EU and by the UK. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, that's okay. That's okay. If he's part of a country that we're at war with, or our allies is at war with, that should be allowed to happen. But you're missing the point. They are setting a principle that whoever they think stands against them, then their property and then their money can be confiscated. That's the principle here. Either, regardless of your political backing or your alliance, not backing, regardless of your political alliance, if you are a property owner in a free society, why should that be confiscated from you? See, people are ignoring this because, Abramovich is a super rich person. Right? And be like, oh, well, he can afford it. But that's not the point. They're setting this precedent, and then they're going to come for each one of us. And that is the reason why I'm not going to be investing in UK property anymore. Because I'm seeing a pattern emerging with all this, where I'm thinking, hold up. I thought we lived in a free society. I'm no friend of Abramovich. I don't know him for Adam. I don't know if he's a nice person, a bad person. He's clearly a friend of the Russian dictator, though the constitution allows him to stay in power. Whatever he changed the constitution, whatever the situation is. The point is, he bought those properties. He bought that business. Why was he forced to sell it? Something very, very fishy is happening in the UK and the EU. In fact, there's so much happening at the same time. I think people are just getting overwhelmed, and our so-called leaders are part of the problem. So, I was going to pay if somebody wants to come on, now's a good time to come on. If you want to have your say, agree with me, not agree with me, entirely up to you. But until somebody does, so I have one more video. I have two more videos actually, but I'm going to play David Icke. Now, I don't really watch Yeah, exactly. We can't keep up with all the lies and the weird stuff going on, indeed. And I think we need to remember God, and we need to remember that God is the truth, and God will show. He'll shine the light on the darkness, and we don't actually, in many ways, need to worry about. We don't need to stay up awake at night worrying about whether we're going to be able to tell the difference between good and bad or right and wrong. I think we should be worrying about making sure that we are in tune with God, and you do that through prayer. You do that with having a good heart and having good intentions and praying. The more I get older, the more I realise how important prayer is and how God answers prayers. And He does. He does answer prayers. Okay, next video then. It's a bit of a weird one. I don't really listen to David Icke, but I started watching this today, and I stopped because I couldn't follow it because I was concentrating on something else. But I thought, let me save it until I'm doing the live stream.
Internet on the morning of the inauguration. Trump's inauguration day, and a time to be highly vigilant and streetwise. You are going to be hit by so many reasons to think that Trump is a hero changing the world. That is a crucial stage one part of the PSYOP. The fundamental to the PSYOP is look over there while we do it over here. But from here on, I wrote, watch like a hawk the actions of the tech AI oligarchs around him. The AI control and human fusion agenda, deregulation to ease its passage, and the digital currency masquerading as crypto. Watch in general, I wrote, the fundamentals of the Schwab Great Reset presented as setting the people free. Fall for the Trump, Musk, Vance, Thiel, Sachs AI PSYOP in the next 4 years. I said, and it's over. It took only 2 days into the Trump presidency before this happened. Trump announces $500 billion AI infrastructure investment in the US. And added to that, which I'll come to as we go along, is the promotion of, wait for it, mRNA fake vaccines to treat cancer. So 3 top tech firms on Tuesday announced they will create a new company called Stargate, significant name, we'll come to that, to grow artificial intelligence infrastructure in the United States. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son, and Oracle chairman Larry Ellison appeared at the White House Tuesday afternoon alongside President Donald Trump to announce the company, which Trump called the largest AI infrastructure project in history. What they're talking about is a AI control system and human fusion system and a system of total AI surveillance. And if you look at the history of statements by Larry Ellison, you will see that that is exactly what he has been saying should happen. The companies will invest 100 billion in the project to start, with plans to pour up to 500 billion into Stargate in the coming years, this story says. Stargate will build the physical and virtual infrastructure to power the next generation of AI, including data centers around the country, Trump said. And Ellison said the group's first 1 million square foot data project is already under construction in Texas. This is your AI prison being built all around you while the Trump supporters cheer and chant USA, USA, USA. This is the PSYOP. As I've been saying over the years, and very much in the last couple of years, is that the idea is to target what were previously pushbackers of this AI control agenda, i.e., Trump supporters, basically, in the United States. And, you know, you've got the so-called left, the woke in politics that basically go along with this stuff. But you've had these pushbackers, so-called conspiracy theorists, who have been very wary of the AI control agenda. So what they've done is use Trump and Musk and all these other AI oligarchs to get you to believe that it's all about freedom and they're against the woke and they're against the globalists. When in fact, they're just going down the same road to the same AI control system, using different rhetoric and different excuses. And even I'm surprised at how fast 2 days it took for this to become clear.
Okay, well, I'm not sure exactly how accurate that is or not accurate. I just thought it was a very good viewpoint. I just think that, and this again, I might be wrong in this. I just feel that Trump is very good at doing the basic stuff, but when something gets a bit complicated, such as technology, such as AI, such as vaccines, such as multi-layered economic factors, he's not very good, and he starts relying on the so-called specialists. Having said that, Trump is also the one that is heavily financed by Pfizer. He's also heavily financed and backed. Maybe not financed and backed, but he certainly works very closely with Bill Gates. Now, on one hand, Trump is very well aware how much the entire USA hated Hillary Clinton. He was very much aware that by becoming popular with Alex Jones' InfoWars audience, that he was all but guaranteed an election victory the first time around. And you're trying to tell me that he's not aware that how much the entire planet, let alone the American people, despise Bill Clinton, how much the entire world, certainly the Western world, and Americans, including his following, despise Pfizer. And yet, like a good... Well, I'm not going to finish that, but it seems like he is controlled to some degree, and I think the Epstein files situation, either there's something more to it that we don't understand, or there's something going on that shouldn't be going on. So I wanted to share that. Now, as you guys know, I am very much in the game when it comes to AI, comes to crypto, blockchain, fintech. You are listening to somebody who knows a hell of a lot about it. My experience is on another level. In fact, one of the reasons why I got into the whole industry was that I was aware there was a lack of integrity in that field, and I wanted to create a system that would help anybody and everybody and be fair. So yeah, and that's going well. And I just want to say that unfortunately everybody is very well behind of understanding the dangers of AI. And without I would need to do a show about it, because if I start kind of rattling cages, then I'll start rattling cages. But I will say this, that from next month, in fact, in America, domesticated robots are being introduced and sold to Americans. And they're not expensive. I'm not saying that they're super good. It's not something out of Star Wars or anything. But this is just the beginning. AI is far more advanced than even the so-called specialists realized. You know those people that go to those parliamentary meetings and they go to these hearing sessions in Parliament about blockchain and about fintech and crypto. Let me tell you, those people are just idiots. They don't know effing nothing. They just go in there just to post something on social media to get some kind of ticket or something to put around their neck and to say that they attended. Have a photograph taken with the speaker so it looks like they're rubbing shoulders. But it's just a load of baloney. Those hearing sessions in Parliament are designed and controlled by a very small group. They present something and then they bring a member of Parliament in to make it look official, and then they feed all that back to different members of Parliament saying that we had all this support and this is what we propose, and then that proposal eventually turns into a brown paper bag, if you know what I mean. That's a very short version of it. But those people that go and even talk on some of these sessions don't know what they're talking. I'm telling you categorically, AI is very advanced. I've tried to share some videos as well, and I want you guys to know this, because I believe next year we're going to start seeing some heavy layoffs as we see corporations start bringing in AI taking over jobs. And I think the people are not ready. People have mortgages, people have families, people have a lot of responsibilities, and it's moving too fast. Even if it doesn't happen next year, it definitely will happen the following year. I've seen the progress AI is making. At the moment, AI is just covering creative stuff. Make a video quickly, or, put a tune together, a new, top 10 hit, create a graphic. Or you can't be bothered to write a booklet, no problem. AI could do it within 30 seconds or maybe 2 minutes. Right? All the creative stuff. Even coders that used to get paid 5 figures, 6 figures, are not. Eventually, they're just going to lose their ability to code, because all they're doing is going to AI and say, "Can you write me a code for a website to do this?" Or can you rewrite this code so the website's faster, etc., etc., etc. So, all these people are not going to have a job soon. And as soon as you have an economy where there's more people on benefits than there are people being taxed. In fact, it doesn't even have to be 50-50. I think the ratio is something like 73%. If there's only 73% of people working and therefore paying tax full time, the economy crashes. AI is moving far faster than you think. And don't even get me started on stable coins. That's another nightmare. But anyway, I could be wrong on these things, and I hope I am. There's no guarantee. There's no prediction. There's no guarantees in prediction, is what I'm trying to say. The world is essentially like a financial market. You can't predict everything accurately and with a guarantee. All you can guarantee is your own actions and your own intentions. That's the only guarantee. Okay, but I'm going to play another music video now, and this is dedicated to a gentleman on my Discord channel who absolutely hates Candice. It's also dedicated to Raj Speaker's Corner, who absolutely hates Candice, and it's dedicated to Banksy, who, like the other two, despises Candice. Funnily enough, they've been watching Candice for quite a long time, know a lot about her, but they just can't stand to listen to anything that she says, and I think that's crazy. And Mr. Let Go, who has been giving, or his team has been giving information to Candice about the Charlie Kirk assassination. And one thing I'll say about Candice has been taking information from Mr. Let Go and his team, and she's not once credited them for the information. In yesterday's live stream she did, or the other day, the entire live stream was based on talking points that Mr. Let Go spoke about. Crazy. But anyway, let's watch this.
Candace Owens is a evil scumbag. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of
As we all know, Candace Owens has spinning a lot of suggestion. We can't keep spinning conspiracy theories without evidence. People are going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt.
Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? If you got something to say, tell it to her face. If you got something to say, tell it to her face. All of this is fake and gay, and you know it. I got all the evidence. I'm about to show it. You projecting all your guilt out on us and Candace. We just trying to solve the case. I don't understand it. Things not turning now. How you planned it? We can see it in your eyes and your body language. I see all the threats that you keep sending me, but underneath the jail is where you finna be. Your band of crooked pastors in the pulpit. Every time you speak, all I hear is bullshit. Tell the truth about Charlie Kirk instead of telling me to stop. All I wanna know is which guy took the shot. I need an answer to a question only you would know. Is Charlie Kirk's life a reenactment of the Truman Show? Truman Show, Truman Show. 100,000 of us on your head tie. Please stop trying to feed us all this fed slide. Your grieving widow book tour, we ain't listening to it. And free Tyler Robinson, cause you know he didn't do it. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace.
She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened? Well, Erica said stop, and then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like.
Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? If you got something to say, tell it to her face. If you got something to say, tell it to her face. All this is fake and gay, and you know it. I got all the evidence, I'm about to show it. You projecting all your guilt out on us and Candace. We just trying to solve the case, I don't understand it. Are things not turning out how you planned it? We can see it in your eyes and your body language. I see all the threats that you keep sending me, but underneath the jail is where you finna be. Your band of crooked pastors in the pulpit. Every time you speak, all I hear is bullshit. Tell the truth about Charlie Kirk instead of telling me to stop. All I wanna know is which guy took the shot. I need an answer to a question only you would know. Was Charlie Kirk's life a reenactment of the Truman Show? Truman Show, Truman Show. 100,000 of us on your head top. Please stop trying to feed us all this fed slop. Your grieving widow book tour, we ain't listening to it. And free Tyler Robinson, cause you know he didn't do it. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What?
It feels a little fake and gay. Gotta tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay, and there will be no fakeness and no gayness. It was like one big character assassination, and it wasn't to me. That's what you guys don't understand. You're not attacking me.
How can one woman make so many people angry?
Well, I think Banksy and Raj are fake and gay. Sorry. Oh, sorry, I found that funny. Right. Okay. So one important thing that I do want to say is that I offered anybody and everybody a free website with no ifs and no buts. And I said that all you have to do to claim a free website is to come over on my Discord channel, read the very small terms, and just say, Manny, I want a website, sort me out. And you just tell me what type of website you want, and I will make that reality. There's nothing, you're not going to pay me. There's no secret agenda here. It's just my Christmas gift to you and everybody else, because like I said when I banned Raj and Banksy a few weeks ago, that I'm sick and tired of YouTubers and so-called debaters and, you know, all these channels and stuff just taking from people and not giving back. They want your views. They want you to watch a video, an advert before coming onto the channel so they can make money, and they create controversy, and, you know, they're very good debaters. They're very good talkers. But what do they actually give you? What do you actually take from it? They rile you up. And then, you know, they don't even, most of the time, they don't even thank you for watching or anything like that. So I don't want any of that. I don't have any adverts on my channels anyway. But if you do want a website, let me tell you why it should be a good idea. If you ever thought you wanted to start a business or you want to trial a business, well, one of the biggest costs for a startup is the website, and you're going to get that for free. But more importantly, I'll train you up very quickly on how to run the website, and even show you how to promote the website. That in itself, I mean, you're probably going to get a website worth at least £1,200, £1,200, and then you're going to get some training that not only will help you run your business, but you will then have the basics of digital marketing to go offer, if you learn it well enough, that is, and do your homework, and then offer that same service to somebody else, or at least get you going in the right direction to go where and learn more, so you can, you know, start a new career in digital marketing. I don't know, but like I said, there's nothing in it for me. I'm just doing it as a Christmas gift for anybody. We've had our first bite. Somebody has come along and said they'll take me up on the offer, and they will want a website in the new year, which is brilliant. I'm very happy to hear that. It's a DJing website, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I'll showcase the website here. Another person said, and DC actually, said on my Discord server today that perhaps I should show some examples of websites to entice people, which is it's a good idea. But then, websites that my company has created, those people may not want to have their website showcased. But I'll create some examples or something, and we'll take it from there. But if you do want a free website, no ifs or no buts, all you have to do is create a new account on the social media platform Discord. I don't own it. I won't know anything about you. But it will allow you to click on the invitation link below this video in the description and come over, and there's a community of us that talk to each other via text, mostly, sometimes voice as well. We talk to each other and we share ideas, we share news, and we just stay connected. It's very quickly becoming a Christian Discord channel. I'll tell you that much. All the leading voices of personalities have definitely met and are influenced or know God, the God. So if you're interested, do that. Get yourself a new discord.com account. Click the invitation link. It'll bring you over to the Manny Sinder live channel. And just talk. There's always somebody there to talk. So that's what you must do. All right. Thank you very much to everybody. I did refer to people as having shitty lives earlier on. I just want to clarify. I wasn't saying that you have a shitty life. My point was that, or the point I was trying to make was that we get upset with politics because we feel to some degree our lives are not quite as nice as it could be. Now that could be if you're on benefits and you feel that life is dragging you down, you can't find a job. It could well be if you're taxed too much and you're working all the hours and you don't get time to spend with your family, and along comes the government and taxes you, and then you might think that you're supporting so many people financially and emotionally, and you can't keep up. Price of goods is so high. Whatever it is, the thing is, there's some element within us that we feel that our lives are a bit shitty, and we are coerced into thinking that voting for the right person is going to resolve that. And no matter who we vote for, it's never resolved. In fact, it's more of the same as the previous government and the previous government and the previous government before that. Nothing actually ever changes. No matter which party comes into power, which politician makes all the promises, whatever. Nothing truly changes. The direction of the country never changes, and that's because politicians don't actually really make any guarantees. They stand up in front of you and they talk about the problems, and they fine-tune the subject of the problems to the audience, to the group of people that they want to raise support and get votes from. And they talk about that problem, and they talk about that problem even more, and then they talk about it more passionately, and then they get the crowd going and people start agreeing and clapping, and I think, yes, I see that problem. And they start thinking, well, if he knows the problem, then he must be the solution. We must vote for him. We must vote for his party. And then someone like me comes along and says, excuse me, sir, what guarantees do you give, like that man did to Ben Habib? I showed that video earlier on this live stream. Excuse me, Ben, what guarantees do you and your party give that you won't go back on your election promises? Ben Habib, like every single politician who will not keep the promises that they make before the election, said, well, I don't understand the question. Why would a politician not keep the manifesto, his promises? Well, Ben and every other politician None of you do. In fact, we are so accustomed to the poor promises, the poor fake promises that are dangled in front of us, that we have started to think that those shitty promises are actually good promises. I'll tell you what a good promise is. How's this one? Vote for me and I'll make sure every commodity or every produce that this country makes, the state produce, like whether it's oil or whether it's gold or salt, the profits from that will be given and shared equally amongst everybody of those who are born in this country. How about another promise? How about we take back every service that was ever created with taxpayers' money, such as electricity boards and gas boards and public transport? We take back and we run as the government. And any nominal cost, if there is a nominal cost of running those services, we'll ask as a fare, but never for profiteering. Imagine how cheap things would be. How about we encourage people with gardens to grow food and donate that food? How about instead of encouraging people just to mow their lawn, how about we encourage them and deliver to them an apple tree so they have apples for themselves, for their family, and they can donate to the homeless? And even if this country is prospering, we can give it to those countries. How about we start actually working for people? I mean, what would a government that works for the people look like? Would it look like Nigel Farage just standing there for 50 minutes, just outlining the problems of the other parties and other governments? Or would it look like, I'm not bothered about that. It's irrelevant what those idiots have done before me. What I'm bothered about is, what can I do to serve the people of this country? That's what a true politician would do. We don't have any, so hey ho. Thank you everybody who has listened to my voice and my moaning and my discussion, my sharing of the videos. Thank you, double thank you to everybody who's contributed in the chat. If you could hit the like button on your way out, that will give YouTube a few less reasons to continue to shadow ban me, but let's face it, that's never going to change. But what can we do? I'm going to end it here, play the video which shows all my different YouTube channels. If you are not already subscribed to any of my YouTube channels, then please consider doing so. I will be at some point, I don't know when, stopping with this channels, the Manny Sinder Live and the Manny Sinder Politics. These will be archived, partly because there's a lot of things that I have said and do say that I don't really agree with afterwards, and sometimes when you're in the thick of things, you just say it, and but not in an embarrassing way. I'll own all the mistakes, but just that when I do on a very rare occasion listen back to my videos, I don't really like the sound of how I structure sentences. But anyway, I'm going to be moving forward and doing other things, and I just feel that discussing politics is a very negative thing, and I just feel that even though I would like like anybody else, my life to be better, I am very appreciative of my life, how it is, and what God has given me, and I appreciate that, and as a consequence, I just feel that I'm far better at helping people and encouraging people to do better, and my my power is not really in politics and discussing politics. It's an effort for me. My speciality in profession is business, is financial markets, it's technology, and I think I'm really going to go forward and start just helping random people, whoever comes forward. One of the reasons why I started doing these political live streams on a regular basis, because talking politics is really easy because we're continuously surrounded with politics all the time, but it allows me to kind of get used to once again, speaking on camera, even though I don't really have the camera on, but on a microphone and that type of thing. If I thought I was anything special when it comes to politics, I would have stood for election a long time ago. Though I do think I am a better politician than any of the politicians out there, because I know my heart and I know that I genuinely want to help people. And if I was the one that was asked what guarantees would I make and promises to deliver what I say, then I would literally lie everything down, because I think unless somebody really dedicates everything, I suppose like Jesus dedicated his life for everybody, right? He paid the price for us so we can seek forgiveness for the wrong things we say and do. I think that's a magical moment, or that's the right time to end this live stream. Thanks, guys.